Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody, it's nice to see you. Today is May 11th, 2020. Can I have a roll call, please?
Missouri.
Here.
Basil.
Here.
Whaling.
Here.
Caprows.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
We have the minutes from April 13th. Are there any changes or corrections? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second? Maybe a second, any questions? Roll call.
Missouri.
Yes.
Basil.
Yes.
Whaling.
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Clerk's report.
Tax income receipts in the month of April, $157,510.82. We haven't got any tax money in, but I know that the real estate tax bills went out, and I guess the due date's the same as it was in the past. I just wanted to remind all village residents that the village hall lobby and drive-through is currently closed to the public, but staff is available by phone during regular business hours to answer questions and conduct everyday routine business, just like we always have. Water bills were mailed out last week. Payments can be made by using our drop box right outside the front lobby doors. Online using our e-pay option, which there's no fee for that, that's been waived now, or by US mail. We're also conducting building permits by appointment only. All the forms and information can be found in the document center of our Village of Beecher website, and we will issue permits by appointment. We've been issuing quite a few roofing permits and some other things, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to call the Village Hall with any questions. We'll make arrangements to meet you at the drive-thru and get things done, but please don't come without calling first.
Do you know where we are with the census? Did you look at it recently?
We are at 75% right now.
Remind everybody to do the census if you haven't done it yet.
Yes.
That's it? Anyone from the audience wish to address the board? Okay, with that, with me, really have not much new to report, except that what we've been asking for. I have sent 3, 4, probably 5 even emails to my COGS, IML, Will County Governmental League, Mayor's Caucus, asking for some type of what I call wiggle room in his executive order so that we can do things on a case-by-case basis. Probably the best example that I could give would be the Hallmark store. She could have probably practiced social distancing. She could have done things by appointment. The bottom line is she could have obeyed the order if she was allowed to open, but yet the governor still has not given us that wiggle room. If you noticed, what did come out was we asked for regions. He did come out with 4 regions, which I totally disagree with, along with my mayors as well. And we have asked for relief on that, at least to have sub-regions either by zip code or possibly even in Will or Cook County. The Weather Bureau has subdivided the county to a north, south, and east for Will County, for example, but that doesn't help the Collar counties. Today, Illinois Municipal League wrote a letter to the governor asking for relief from that as well. I came up with a new 11 region, which is better, but we're still lumped in with Cook County, but Chicago is taken out of our picture. Today I was at a conference call with Mayor Lightfoot. Mayor Lightfoot actually agrees that, and she even mentioned Will County and DuPage County, I'm sure, is not happy that we are being lumped into the region that we are currently. So they have asked for relief on that. The feedback that I have gotten so far is the governor isn't budging. I'm hoping that with Mayor Lightfoot involved, that we can get some things changed, and hopefully we can take Beecher as a case-by-case basis, possibly by zip code, and to allow things to improve as we know it today. As of today, there are 32 reported cases in Beecher. It is going up, but it's only going up like every 2 or 3 days. And I think the last time I went up was Friday. Anybody know? I think it was Friday.
So there's been 32 cases since the reporting started. That doesn't mean
Yes.
there's 32 current cases.
No.
I have no idea how many people currently have it.
No, it's 32 cases. I have not, we were in a discussion with this by zip code as far as deaths. It doesn't break it down by zip code, it just breaks it down by Will County. So we don't even know if there's any deaths in Will County that I know of. But it's from the start. that's basically all I report on that. Like I say, I can't tell you on how many conversations I've had asking for the wiggle room and asking for, let us take things by case basis so that we can open up a little bit better than what the governor has said. But like I say, as of right now, the response is he just doesn't want to budge.
And do we have any repercussions if there's no budging?
Say that again?
Do we have any alternatives if there's no budging?
No, because there was a legal opinion put out, and I've heard it several times from attorneys, that if you disobey the order, you are now open to liability, no insurance whatsoever. So bottom line is, if you have either of these, if anybody disobeys the order, let's say, like now you're hearing, and you're gonna keep hearing it more and more, where people are gonna go ahead and open, and they don't care, they're opening themselves up to a liability issue, and the insurance carriers will not carry it. So as far as we are concerned, once again, if we disobey the order, we're opening ourselves up to liability. So the only thing we can continue to do, and you, by all means, you guys can send emails and letters to, probably be easier through email, send it to your representatives, our representatives, and ask them for help. I know I have, but again, just imagine there's 1,200 municipalities represented by the municipal league, and he's probably gotten 1,200 calls just about, every day. So, no, we technically don't have, like today I also heard two other things that, like we had talked about, there was a town up north that opened up a whole block, and there must be a series of restaurants in that block that was gonna have seating in the street, practicing the social distancing and all that kind of good stuff, okay? I read today you can't. So, I mean, I was kicking that idea around, and what could they do? Could they open up, a couple parking spaces in front of their buildings? I'm talking primarily restaurants. To put open seating outside, open air, or whatever the case you wanna call it. I had a concern about the cloud, I guess, if somebody sneezed or something like that, but I read today, I said, it's not permitted. And like, we even brought out, Gould Vault and Sit and Bull, we had very big open space in the backyard, in their brewery, whatever you wanna call it. It's not allowed. And the other one, unfortunately, is garage sales. It's not allowed. Which, that doesn't mean by June 1st it's not gonna change. Listening today to the calls, I think the numbers, they want one number down below 20, we're at 22. And like the governor simply came back and says, he says, hopefully by the end of May, we'll be below 20, and then you can do your thing, whatever he's gonna release. But it's all about numbers with him, all the numbers about the hospital beds and all that kind of stuff. I get the EMS regions because it has to do with hospital beds, and we're served by ones primarily in Cook County, except for Riverside, but that's why we're lumped into Kankakee as well. I get it, I understand it, but at the same token, we're totally different. And again, I'm happy to admit that in mayors that I really don't know, but we're getting to know each other because they're all over the state. I'm not the only one that has that opinion. It's spread wide all over the place that they want to open up within some reason. The wiggle room would make them happy. But then there are mayors that totally agree with the numbers of the governor, what he is saying, so.
What's our state rep saying about this?
I
I know it's a governor's order, but
I have not gotten a response back from LD Sims or Nick Smith.
I know Parkhurst is leading a charge against the regions. She wants smaller regions. The LG and Nick Smith appear to be backing the governor by just remaining silent on the issue.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the governor's taking all the heat too, because the legislature is not meeting, That could be done by design.
from what I understand, they can call a meeting. They have chosen not to do so.
So what do you do though? You have smaller regions, you say Crete, you can't come in here, we got 32 cases, you guys are 100.
No,
And coming in University Park, you got 150, 200 something.
it's
You
not,
can't come here, I mean.
no, it has to do with opening up businesses primarily.
Yeah, but who's gonna visit those businesses?
It's-
Only Beecher residents, you put a sign up, Beecher only?
No,
No, it's open to everybody, so unless the whole area within a big radius around you is clean, I mean, we could only have 32 cases, and thank God we do, but look our neighbors to the north.
correct.
I mean, half mile up the road, they're over 100.
Yeah, now,
Well, University Park, 3 miles to the,
Yeah, but
to the west.
the way they got the system set up now, they've closed X amount of businesses, so people are still going out. Some less are going out, but all those people are funneled into those certain businesses.
But what I'm
You
saying,
go to a
what
store
I'm
that has
saying,
been
Todd, is
busy.
when you got areas of higher infection that are close by us, I mean, you could ask for smaller regions, but you tell this little area that's so close, you can't open, but you can, what do you think's gonna happen? You don't think they're gonna come here?
No, I understand what you're saying. That's part of the problem is, let's, a different scenario to make sure we understand what Chicago. A lot of our residents work in Chicago and come back,
Yeah.
and the numbers are totally different. We understand that. When I'm talking about opening, I'm not talking about totally just disregarding the executive order.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm talking about is like, for one example where Hallmark could have opened, either practice social distancing, allowing only a couple of people in. Okay, wearing the mask, doing the sanitation, keeping the social distancing and so on, still follow the rules, still follow the spirit of the executive order. That's all the mayors are asking for, is that, I'll give you another example, a mattress store, mom and pop mattress store. You can go to the big box, you can buy that mattress there, but a mom and pop mattress store, let's say in Beecher, we don't have one, but who could practice the social distancing, who could limit the number of customers better than a big box store.
You could say that for any business, that's got nothing to do with regions. Right, because that's statewide,
That's what?
that's statewide.
Yeah. I'm not sure, I
If they allow the regions to relax some things.
when I say the regions to relax some things, all I'm asking for is, I know, or we know Beecher better than probably the governor.
Mm-hmm.
And could our business practice the executive order and still open? The answer is yes. Can that mom and pop mattress store open and still practice the rules of the order? The answer is yes. So I say, when we say open up, we're not talking about just disregarding totally everything.
No,
So if they would have to satisfy, let's say, a local mayor or whoever it may be, whether it be a local health official, whatever, to satisfy that they can comply with the spirit of the order by cutting down the number of people in the store, you know, and doing the mask and do the social distancing and all that kind of stuff. But it would have to be taken on a case-by-case basis. And then bottom line is, that even if the governor does give it that, I don't know of anybody else except Hallmark that this would apply to. Because everybody else, the restaurants, they're open to go, that's up their prerogative. You know, we wouldn't open up a restaurant to go in there, you know, unless, I can't think of an example right now, you know, they could practice the 6 foot apart. I mean, now we have the downside too, is where Indiana's opening up, so everybody can just go to Indiana and come back. I mean, the way I look at it right now is that the defiance that's going on is negating what the governor is trying to do. That's just the way I feel. Okay. We have a budget workshop, Monday, 6 p.m., May 18th. Again, we'll put our call-in option if you want.
I have a question, so we know how to set up the room. How many people plan on attending that workshop? So we know how to set up the room.
I will be here. I may not, just because of work.
I get it.
So,
Yeah.
I may
And we're
not.
starting at 6 o'clock and there's no food because of this. Frank, you're here?
Yeah.
Okay. Scott?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And then I have a proclamation honoring 2020 senior graduating class, and I'll read it. Whereas the 2019-2020 academic year and commencement ceremonies have been suspended due to the global coronavirus pandemic, and whereas the families, friends, neighbors, and educators should encourage everyone to focus on the abilities of all young people and honor their hard work. Whereas the Village of Beecher and Washington Township students of Beecher Community School District 200U have contributed greatly to our community, and whereas the most effective way to increase awareness to the value of education and to honor graduating seniors is through everyone's active participation in community activities and openness to learn and acknowledge each individual's abilities, talents, and contribution and importance of education. And whereas during this generational challenge, our students represent a bright future and will continue along the path of service and leadership in our community and nation. And whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for graduating seniors in our community, including military service, higher education, trades, housing, employment, and recreational activities. Now therefore, I, Greg Savansky, Village President of the Village of Beecher, hereby recognize the high achievements of graduating members of the class of 2020, and on behalf of the residents of the Village of Beecher, Will County, offer our heartfelt congratulations. Be it further resolved, the Village President and the Board of Trustees do hereby proclaim the month of May 2020 as Beecher Beecher High School Senior Recognition Month in the Village of Beecher, Little Beecher Bobcats. And can I have a motion supporting that proclamation? There's a motion made, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Caprows,
Yes.
Whaling,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Missouri,
Yes.
Mr. President, on a note on that, to the entrances in town, Gipple Graphics is donating a large banner for the seniors, and Public Works will be putting those banners up for the seniors in our frame entrances in town, 4 frames. Also, the Sesquicentennial book we're running is gonna be dedicated to the high school senior class, and it'll be the only picture that we know of that exists of the whole class together in the book.
That's all I have, trustee Basil.
The approval of the bills for month of April. I just got a quick question on the credit card about the lockers for the police department.
Yeah, I think Greg Smith, you're on the phone, correct?
Is he on there? Greg?
Yeah, go ahead.
The lockers for the police department,
Yeah,
do we have to replace some, or,
no, we never had them.
oh, you never had lockers?
So they had, no, they had these little bump lockers that are probably like 3 inches wide, by about 3 feet. I don't know where they got them from, but difficulty their duty here, especially during these times where they're expected to change while they leave here after decon. So I didn't use any of the money that's for my personal development this year because everything was canceled. So that's why those were purchased.
All right, thank you. Any questions about the bills?
There's a couple new ones, Frank, if you wanna read them quick.
Law enforcement training, 800. Petty cash, 114.45. TransUnion, 100. Will County Animal Control, 150. Miss any up front? I don't think so. Yeah, I did. Constellation Energy for 571.29, and County of Will Warrant Service for 1179.26.
On page 2.
Belleville Boot
Yep.
Company for 179.45. And Call One for 1,719 cents. If there's no questions, I'd like to make a motion approving the bills for April for $201,853.46.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second, any questions? Roll call.
Missouri,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Whaling,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
That ends my report.
Consider a proposal from Robinson Engineering in the amount of $89,000 for construction management services related to the lead line replacement program. This is part of the IEPA loan forgiveness program, which is progressing. It includes the replacement of 120 lead service lines in approximately 50 meters. The village's share of this project is the purchase of the 50 meters for $61,000. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a proposal from Robinson Engineering in the amount of $89,000 for construction management services for the lead line replacement program.
Motion on the floor, is there a second? Second. Is there a second, any questions? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Whaling,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Missouri,
Yes.
Consider a proposal from Baxter and Women Engineers in the amount of $5,000 to assist in completing and submitting a grant application for the replacement of Gould Street water main. The governor has released into escrow $35 million for shovel-ready projects to be awarded this fall as part of the Rebuild Illinois grant program. The $950,000 Gould Street water main replacement should score high in the point scale since it is a permitted project and ready to start. It is also part of a retail area that needs to be served by sufficient water flow and quality. Although this project is in the capital bill, it may be years before we see that funding, especially now after the pandemic. Obtaining a grant will jumpstart this project so we can move forward on to other projects. If there's no questions, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a proposal from Beecher and Women Engineers in the amount of $5,000 to assist in completing and submitting the grant application for the replacement of the Gould Street water main.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Ms. Zerk?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Capros?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes. Consider a motion declaring $2,086.33 of water usage and $5,407.14 of penalty as uncollectible in the water and sewer billing system. These have been on old accounts where certain home closings just kind of slipped through the cracks. We can't find the old owners to hold them accountable. Some of these are as old as 10 years old. The auditors last year made this recommendation in the audit. It's basically a cleaning of the books. So if there's no questions, I'll go ahead and make a motion declaring $2,086.33 of water usage and $5,407.14 of penalty as uncollectible in the water and sewer billing.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions?
I do, I have one. How about if we did something where they'd have to get a certificate from the village to collect before they can close?
They just close without even calling us or asking us. We get a phone call from the new owner saying, I bought this, and the closing's already happened. Otherwise, we require them to we check the bill. If the owner, the person buying or the person selling calls us and says that that's gonna occur, we look it up right away and we say there's a $200 bill, this needs to be paid before closing, and we make that clear. But people close on us without ever telling, or a lot of these are foreclosures. The house is just abandoned,
Right.
and we usually can collect from the
banks.
real estate agents and the banks, we usually can. But some of these were just some really unusual circumstances. I mean, for 10 years, for $2,000 really isn't a huge amount.
Right,
We do the best we can to collect it, but
yeah, because some municipalities have it where it's, I don't know if it's on the title, that there's a requirement to get a letter from the village.
those
Or
are
what?
usually home rule communities who have tax transfer stamps.
Okay,
And those have to be satisfied before the property closes, and people always call us whether there's tax transfer stamps. And at that time, we also inform them, what's the address of the property, let me see if there's an outstanding bill or
Okay.
not.
all right, just a thought.
Yeah,
It's really not a significant amount, Scott. Some of these have been on the books for 10 years.
yeah.
And the penalty,
The penalty's an inflated number. I mean,
that
sits there and keeps cracking on.
Right.
Yeah.
When you look at the water and sewer usage of $2,000 over, it's actually, I think it went back over 10 years, didn't it? 11 years?
Some of these were inherited from the prior utility billing.
Yeah. But, you're looking at $200 a year. So,
Any other questions? Roll call.
Kraus?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Capros?
yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Missouri?
Yes.
Consider a motion authorizing payment to Beecher and Woman in the amount of $10,062.62 for construction management services pertaining to the wastewater treatment plant improvements contingent upon receipt of IEPA loans. I'll go ahead and make a motion authorizing payment to Beecher and Woman in the amount of $10,062.62 for construction management pertaining to the wastewater treatment plant contingent upon receipt of IEPA loan funds.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Missouri?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Capros?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes. Last item, consider a motion deferring the automatic rate increases for water and sewer of 10 cents per 1,000 gallons to July 1st. This increase typically occurs with the May 1 billing, but due to the pandemic, we believe the rate increase should be deferred for 60 days. This would put a deferment in line with the extension for paying the water bills without penalty or threat of shut-off. So I'll go ahead and make a motion deferring the automatic rate increase for water and sewer of 10 cents per 1,000 gallons till July 1.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second, any questions?
Is this something we need to do a budget for also? Or this is just a deferring to July 1st and that's it?
It's, so, in
No, it's not
in this budget that we haven't passed yet, but that we're working off of, right, so you'd have one cycle in there out of the 6 billing cycles where the rate would be 10 cents less per 1,000. What the number is, I don't know, but I mean, it's pretty minimal. Well, if you figure,
It's
what's-
11,000 for water for the whole fiscal year, 11,000 for sewer. So by deferring this, take 22,000 divided by 6, that's the dollar value of deferment.
yeah,
And I think it's prudent to do it at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're losing more in deferring your penalty than you are this.
less than 4,000.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a second on that? First and second, roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Basil.
Yeah.
Missouri.
Yes.
Any old business before we work?
Yes, Mr. President, we had a open house and a ribbon cutting plan for the sewer plant in June. That obviously will be delayed now till the fall. So in the fall, hopefully when all this stuff settles, we can,
The ribbon cutting at the plants, correct?
the ribbon cutting and the tour of the sewer plant. The last place we want to go, I can't done it, is at the sewer plant.
Ribbon's gonna be made out of plastic,
Not anymore.
Can't find it.
if you can find it.
Expensive.
Any new business?
Just, I had something old under the village reports for the 4th of July. Are there bills besides the postage for the PO box? Are those all old bills from before they canceled the 4th or just,
I'd have to look. at the
well, one's
bills and
flower
see.
pots, the other one's a sponsorship sheet.
The sponsorship, I believe what it was they had a letter that was done by a printing company, why, I don't know, if I remember right.
That's correct. The sponsorship committee was getting ready, and we had the letter ready to go, the brochure, and then the commission decided to wait 30 days, and then we canceled, so we had to pay the printer for that brochure that we made.
Okay. And the flower pots.
The pots were ordered in early March from Baltimore's and were already in production. I didn't know when I canceled our hanging basket order that those were ordered by the commission, they slipped through the cracks. So they're gonna get some flower pots in the park.
But other than that, there shouldn't be anything,
Yeah.
well, there'll be,
There's one more hardware store bill coming yet, yeah.
But they're all bills from before
Yeah,
they decided they weren't going to have the 4th, they're just catching up with.
the one is gonna be fireworks, there's gonna be a $15,000 deal on the fireworks in June, but we don't lose it.
That's
Okay, so it's
credited
gonna be-
for,
It's gonna be credited whenever we have a fireworks show, so whether it be this year, next year, whatever, so.
thank you.
Any other new business?
Before we adjourn, I wasn't thinking, I made a mistake, so approving the minutes from the last meeting, I wasn't in attendance, so I actually should have been abstaining. And I'm so used to being here all the time that.
Were you on the phone, Stacy?
No,
Okay.
I did not make that meeting.
I've been told that you don't have to abstain even if you weren't attending the meeting.
I did
It's not
read
a big
that.
deal. And that's
I did look
acceptable.
over
Yeah.
stuff.
It's not a violation of any sort.
Okay.
I have a quick question on the laser show. If we don't have the Summerfest, which probably looks like we're not going to, but we're waiting at least till June to see how it goes. What's the charges on that, or are we gonna be charged for that, or?
I will look into that, and then I'll answer everybody, so everybody knows the
Okay.
answer to that question.
Because I was concerned on that.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, questions? Roll call.
Who made the second?
I did.
And who made the first one?
I did.
Okay, thank you. Missouri,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Caprows,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.